Okay, so this is going to be the run with the 2S battery and the Bullnose props, which is what I used to run with for years before I got into the 3S game. The weather this week doesn't look promising for flying, so when we got a little patch which is still overcast but at least not too windy, I decided to get out and check out a couple of things. I'm noticing that flying 3S, when I first take off with my favoured Bullnose props, I get a kind of whistling sound. And looking at the drone in the air, I can see it's juddering a bit at first, which is smoothed out by the GoPro. So I've decided to try out 2S again. So I started off with the Bullnose props, and I noticed as I take off I don't get the same kind of whistling sound. And later I'll go to the pointy nose ones that I stopped using because I got a bit too much vibration. So here I am, I'm in the business of changing them over from the Bullnose to the red pointy nose to see how they go. Potholes or corrugations, the faster you go within the limit. So the first thing I'll do with the pointy ones is to give them a go on 2S just to hear how they sound. Unfortunately I got a bit carried away with my first flight with 2S and ran the battery down pretty much. So I'm not noticing too much wobble in the goggles with the pointy nose props at the moment. The GoPro certainly seems to be smoothing it out. GoPro 7 seems to be smoothing it out completely. What I've always felt with these props is it turns a bit sharper. I've got a little bit more control, which is what the appeal is, despite the apparent vibration. That was a cutout, motor's cut out, so I've got low battery. I got a range warning rather than a battery alert at first, so I got it down as quick as I could. So that is another disadvantage with 2S compared to 3S. I don't get those kind of cutouts on 3S. I get a more gradual fade as the cells run down. And we're down. So that was the sound of the wobble on 3S using the pointy nose prop. So this is my third and final flight, and I ran the whole 3S with this flight. I've cut chunks of it out, so this was just to give me an idea of how it sounded and how it felt, and it flew well. I'm noticing it's only when I'm accelerating or decelerating strongly that I tend to get wobble in the goggles. For most of the flight, the view through the goggles is pretty good, and of course, as I said before, the GoPro irons it out in any case. There's one other thing I was checking. When I bought my Jumper T8SG, the first edition, shortly after I bought it, version 2 came out, and I took one look at version 2, in particular the OLED screen you couldn't see in bright sunlight, and promptly bought a second original Jumper as a spare. And I'm so glad I did, because 3 years later the screen, or the characters, don't appear on the screen anymore. It's still lit up, but there's nothing there. And I reformatted the drive. It's gone from 2 gig to 1 gig, so there seems to be some sort of hardware fault. I've reformatted the drive, I've reflashed it, I've redone the software, nothing. So I think I've got a hardware fault, so I'll put it in the cupboard for a moment in case I want to use the any paint components from it. But I've ordered a version 3 Carbon edition, which should be here in about a month. So what I'm doing with this flight, I'm deliberately going behind bushes at times to check to see what the reception's like, because one of the strong points of the original one with the booster was that I'm getting good reception, and sure enough, no cutouts. And the Sky Zone 04 goggles with their highfalutin whatever comes after diversity also seems to do a pretty good job at maintaining signal despite the odd obstacle. So it was a good day getting out in what's not good weather for flying to take scenic videos. and check a few things out, and also I have a bit of fun, because any excuse to fly is one I enjoy. And a fun thing here was I ran across a fellow flyer flying a model aeroplane, so we had a bit of a natter afterwards. So all good fun. So I'll leave it with this, and till next time, bye.